Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsai Heirloom. So here I am. This is a Zelkova. I have to tell you, this is you notice a little tinge of red. I think under the right condition, this will actually pretty bright red. For sure, I will find some that are red for cutting. So someday I can offer you red Chinese Zelkova as compared to the Japanese Zelkova, which is the most commonly grown street trees in America. They're Japanese variety where it only turns yellow, the leaves. Whereas the Chinese Zelkova can turn both red and yellow. And the leaves, you can see it's pretty large, but it will reduce to quite tiny as it gets more ramification. So I've never done a broom-style, which I think is really quite beautiful, a straight trunk and then a broom like a street tree, which is typically done for Zelkova in Japanese bonsai books. So I'd like to attempt one of those with this tree. You can see this tree was growing wildly in the ground, and I just cut off here trying to make it, a little bit more of a turn. At that time, I wasn't thinking about a broom style. And you can see this branch shoot out. And this branch, a tall one, I cut off here with the idea to encourage the side growth. But instead, this one shoot up. And that's, in fact, how you can create an apex. And so this is the tree I have, and it's already starting to look like a broom style. So that's what gave me the idea, maybe make it into a broom style. And if I make a tree about this high in a bonsai pot, it will be quite nice. I'm not going to take it out of the growing can, rather just remove the top to expose the base to make optimum use of the roots for the design. But then I'll put it right back in the growing pot. So with that in mind, let me get to work. About 10 years ago, I bought maybe 12 years ago, I bought maybe 25 of these Chinese Zelkova from a nursery that grows seedlings, specialized in seedlings. And that's a Chinese Zelkova that I found. But I've not ever since seen that tree offered anywhere. So I think this tree is it's good for me to propagate. I'll pick one out of the 25. I'll pick the reddest one, and take cuttings and make it available to you someday. Now, without that little introduction, let me get to work to remove the top layer of the soil, so to expose more of the top of the roots, the trunk, to take advantage for the design. And this is just a broken off garden tool. That's just as good. I have no idea what the base looks like, but as you move down, you'll find the trunk gets bigger and bigger, which is an advantage to make your bonsai look older and more established. You can see it does continue to expand. You can see the base now looks quite large, and that will make the tree look nice. Because that big base always indication that it's an older tree. And you can see now here there's some big roots, and still this is still getting bigger. So I will not be going too far down from here. This will be the bottom of the tree. You can see how big the base now looks like, which is really an advantage compared to this size here. Since I want to make the roots radial out anyway, when I have a difficulty cleaning off, I just cut the roots that are crossing. Nice base. Zelkova have a way of doing this. See, that's starting to branch out. But look at how much bigger that is when it comes out. Like this is protruding up on top. So I can cut that off and the bottom will take over so that the roots are spread out radially. And so you always pay attention to the roots first, and then the rest of it, you can always work overtime to compensate for something that's not quite right. Well, I think I changed my mind. I'm going to cut off the bottom because the tree will be set back. But on the other hand, I'd rather set back now and the roots coming out correctly rather than do it a couple of years from now and I had to start over again in terms of the forcing the fibrous roots to enable me to put into a bonsai pot. And this way I also can gauge a little bit about the height of this tree. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my saw, a reciprocal saw, and start cutting off the bottom of the roots to get rid of any tap roots, so to speak, or big roots. So I don't think the bonsai will be much deeper than here, so I cut off here. And all of this fibrous roots is gone, but these fiber roots will soon take over to provide the planting nutrients for the tree. I'm really not cutting off much of the big roots, so this is about as low as I can get. And I'll put this piece back in the pot so I can put it back and reuse it. Well, since I have the reciprocal saw, I might as well make use of it. I would do a little bit of this. I'll cut between the big roots so that the roots will be forcing the roots to go radially out. See, like this, I will not cut this, but here. So this way, as I comb it out after I use the saw to cut it, all the roots will be totally radially out. And that's beautiful. I think it's very appropriate for the bottom to match the top, the Broom-Style. So that's what I've done. And I think in a few years when this is in a pot, you'll see how magnificent the roots is. I think always pay a lot of attention to roots because that's a very integral part of design. I see so many old bonsai. It's really a shame that the roots are all curled up and just you can never fix it at that late stage. Even that you can, but it will take many years to recover. So, okay, I think this is about, you can see the tree with a beautiful big base and then the broom right here. And I have to decide what to do with these. So for example, like right now, you can see the Broom-Style is already happening because that's very natural for Zelkova to grow out like this. So if I cut it here, I want to make sure there's a bud. There's a bud. If I cut it off here, just like this, it will become the apex right here. And then for a Broom-Style, you want the outside to grow radially out. So I'll do the same thing for all these branches. Here's the Zelkova branch, and you can see that's actually the top. And if you cut it here, then this bud will come out, that's fine. But if you cut it above that, then this will become brown and it's ugly. So you create your work for yourself twice. So you must have cut it just above the bud so that this little brown will be easily fought off. And it's not essentially where you cut these, so long as around the same height as this, because when it comes out the next time, you can then adjust the whatever branch to make it a broom style. So this is your top. And then you expect this one to fill out this part of it. So what you need to do is probably, I would say probably cut it off here. Let this be, or this become the leader. So I'll cut off here. And this is going that way. That's not broom style. So you probably cut it off here. So to encourage this one to grow out that way. Well, I don't have much choice. There's not much going that way, but this little guy is going that way. So let me encourage that one to grow up to become part of the broom. But don't worry, these will branch out fairly rapidly also below to create a canopy. So your tree will probably be one about this high, but in some sense a trunk, and then top, and then around, like here. And so I think you want to keep the tree in the pot, growing pot, to let it grow vigorously so that there'll be more branching for you to work with. And so I want to save as much branching as possible to work towards the broom style. So for example, this branch is going out this way, but you hope you can do a little bit of a anchoring to make the tree grow this way. And in fact, I will do that to show you. And you want it to be a little high. So let me cut it off here. But, hopefully maybe one of these can be used later on to be the apex. So you want to make the branch as close to that broom angle, each one is going up as possible, so that the next set of leaf coming out will be right. Again, I prefer anchoring rather than wiring, because then I don't have to worry about forgetting removing them and all that stuff. Not the right way, but it's an efficient way to do this. You see, I get it to about the same angle. Anything goes the other way or on the side, you cut off. So basically, you want to save as many branches going up like this, like a broom, as possible. Like this one, you hope something will come out and you can do likewise. So that's all I'm going to get from the bottom, and for now. And I think by next March, when I show you, there will be plenty more branch going upwards that I may be able to use. Now this is a problematic branch, because it's not part of the broom, but I should use of it because then, so the tree is not, the broom is not starting that high. So what I'll do is to cut out this, and this is not quite the right angle, but it's possible when it grows it will be. And so this could be part of the broom, and this can be part of the broom. Now I have to make a critical decision. What do I do with this? I think I can make this as part of the broom. Then it starts, in some sense, starts on the bottom. So with that in mind, then I will leave this branch alone for now anyway, so that I can decide later on when it comes out, would that be part of the broom design. And so, for example, if I cut it off about here, the broom will now starting about here, right? So it's maybe I should call it informal broom style, in a sense, I kind of make the broom a lot more forgiving rather than follow it in the traditional approach. So this one, for example, can be pulled up to fill this hole, and therefore I'll probably do this. Okay, and I'll try to tie this part up. And this one is really a little different, but I don't have to adhere to the standard broom-style design. I may have trees coming up here, depending on the opportunity, to be like this. And then you got this nice base from below. Okay, that's pretty much it. You have to learn how to visualize someday you have a broom like this, and together we'll find out how that works out. This is actually my first broom style. If I want a little shorter, I can make these the broom and cut this off because these can fill out quite nicely. But you know, I have time to do that when it comes out in the springtime to look at what are my design options. So the objective of the broom-style design is to think of it, here's a trunk, and here are the branches coming up this way, and then the top. So what I'm doing is instead of using this as the top, and this is the base, which I can do, I can get rid of all of these, then I have a tree coming from here, and then starting to be like this. But on the other hand, if I kept these two branches, I can presumably make a broom style this way. When it fills out, the growth will be everywhere, and it becomes very clear what I cut off. Anything that's outside of those angle range, I cut off so that you have the very synergistic, uniform feeling that everything is going up like a broom. So I think this could be a very interesting design. With that in mind, then, I basically put it back in the pot to encourage this to grow very fast. With all these feeder roots, I think that should work really well. And I'll put some good fertilizer in it. And it would, I'll show you again in March, April, May, and do the next cutting to create this uniformity angle spreading out and then the top. I think this would be a very nice tree. Again, that's quite painless, but you know, like you can see this branch can someday be maybe move out a little bit so that it's more the part of the broom design, right? So you have a lot of options to make changes. And if I prod this side up, you can see the apex is quite straight up, which is the center should be very straight up, and then the supporting broom. With that in mind, I hope you find this video informative. Click like, I need the encouragement and the brownie points. And subscribe to our channel. We'll notify you of things like raffle as well as the future posting of our future posting bonsai techniques. So thank you for watching and see you next week.